On number 14, we're asked to find the solution or solutions to the following quadratic using our graphing calculator. And we're going to round our answers, if they're decimals, to the nearest hundredth, which means 2 decimal places. So remember, the solutions are the points where the quadratic crosses the x-axis. So remember, there's 3 possibilities. Your quadratic may not cross the x at all, and so that means there are no solutions. Your quadratic may only touch the x-axis at the vertex, which would mean we only have that one solution, whatever that point is. Or your parabola might cross the x-axis in 2 places, and you would have to find both of those points, which are your 2 solutions. So we're going to ask our calculator to find these points, and we're going to ask it to find them kind of like we did with the system of equations, where we were asking our calculator where 2 lines intersected. Now in this case, the things that we're looking at where they intersect are my quadratic and the x-axis. So remember, we want to put these into the y equals of our calculator. So we have to have an equation for the quadratic and for the x-axis to put into our y1 and our y2 equals of our calculator. Well, we have the quadratic. We know that's going to go into the first y equals of our calculator. But for the second thing that we're trying to see what it intersects with is the x-axis. Well, every single point on the x-axis has a y-coordinate of 0. For instance, that's the point 1, 0. That's the point 2, 0, 3, 0. So the equation of the x-axis is y equals 0, because every point has a y of 0. So that's what we're going to put in for our second y equals, and then we're going to ask our calculator to find where those intersect. So the first thing you want to do is go to your y equals and clear out whatever's in there and type in your quadratic. So 3x, x squared, plus 4x minus, not negative, 7. Then for your second y equals, you have to type in the x-axis, which is y equals 0. If you don't do that and you ask your calculator for a point of intersection, it thinks you're crazy because there's no intersection to find with just one thing. You have to have 2 things for it to look for an intersection of. So we have both of our equations in, so then we want to look at the graph. And the reason why you always want to look at the graph is in cases like this right here, where the parabola doesn't cross at all. You wouldn't want to ask your calculator for a point of intersection that doesn't exist. So you always want to look at your graph to see if there are any solutions, which we see our parabola crosses the x-axis in 2 places. So we're going to find both of those points. So we're going to go to the calc menu again, like we did before, to find the vertex. We're going to go to second trace to go to the calc, and we're going to find the point of intersection like we did in the systems of equations. So that's number 5. Remember, it asks you 3 questions, first curve, second curve, guess, that you just press enter through all 3 questions, and it's going to give you one of your solutions. Remember, there's 2 of them. So the first solution is the point 1, 0. So you can either say x equals 1, or you can give the whole point as the solution. The solution is the x part. The y is always going to be 0 for your solutions. Now to find the second one, you can't just do second trace 5, enter, enter, enter again. It's just going to keep giving you that same point over and over again. So to find the second point, after you hit second trace and 5 for intersect, you see your blinking cursor is still at the point it's already given you. You're going to have to move it closer to the other point of intersection that you're wanting. It doesn't have to be right on top of it. It just has to be close to it, closer to it than over here. And then you can press enter 3 times. And now it's giving me the other solution. Remember, we're rounding to the nearest hundredth, so we have a 3 in the tenths, a 3 in the hundredths, and next door is still a 3. So that next door number doesn't make the 3 become a 4 since it's not 5 or higher. So that's negative 2.33. So you would give your other x value or write it as a point, negative 2.33, comma 0. So either one of these is okay to give your solutions as.